following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tony D'Angelo's PM Coast to Coast. Now, here's your host, Tony D'Angelo.
And a very good afternoon to you, all of the stations and all of the fans up and down the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I'm your host, Tony D'Angelo, and this is Tony D'Angelo's PM Coast to Coast. And today, I have a Boss Radio rain delay for you. Our date, figuring we're coming down towards the end of the year, I wanted to do a New Year's Eve. December 31st, 1964, a cloudy 40-degree day in New York City, and a lot happening, as you're going to find out. And one of the things that certainly was happening was some outstanding music, and we're going to get started with that. This young lady was America's sweetheart. Leslie Gore, way back in the charts on December 31st, doing The Look of Love. I really love Leslie. We'll be right back right after this.
Hey, chicks, lend an ear, 'cause Elvis is here with an invite just for you.
Step in these arms where you belong.
It's Elvis Presley in Tickle Me. Elvis as a singing, swinging wrangler on a dude ranch. Not just any dude ranch. This one's jam-packed with girls. Tall girls, slim girls, short girls, blonde girls, girls. It's Elvis belting out 9 great super sensational songs. Night Rider, I'm Yours, Dirty, Dirty Feeling, I Feel I've Known You Forever, It's a Long, Lonely Highway. Elvis Presley in Tickle Me, the funnest, wildest, woolliest, jivinest color flick ever to bounce across your movie screen. See Elvis Presley in Tickle Me in Panavision and Deluxe Color. And hear Elvis sing his songs on RCA Victor Records. Tickle Me from Allied Artists.
Welcome to the world of Trans World Airlines.
You hear the nicest things on TWA jets these days. 8 channels of stereo and hi-fi entertainment are right at your side. Classics, jazz, show tunes, history, comedy, and more. Only TWA gives you such a big choice. Just settle back and listen to time fly.
Welcome to the world of Trans World Airlines.
Now, here comes the music.
Do I look bothered?
Oh, you are awful, but I like you.
Some of the news events of December 31st, 1964. Joe Banana's son Sal, Salvatore Bonanno, is found hiding in Queens. I think he could have picked a better place. Sorry, Zig. Lyndon Johnson readies the State of the Union. Guess it was not a happy state at that time. The Lombardozzi boys are involved in a jewelry swindle. You know, wouldn't be the Jones boys or the Smith boys. You know, we're equal opportunity around here. India jailed 300 red Chinese. Herbert Hoover, the ex-president living in the Waldorf Astoria, started to rail against police civilian review boards. If you study Herbert Hoover, he actually had a much better life and a much more productive life once he left office. Really was a remarkable guy. And the United Nations is intervening on a dispute in the Congo. We'll be back with more of December 31st, 1964, right after this.
You know, the world has known some great love affairs.
Romeo and Juliet.
Napoleon and Josephine.
Jack and Jill.
No, Rock Hudson and Leslie Caron.
Are they in love?
Well, in the Universal picture, A Very Special Favor, they're in love.
Like Jack and Jill?
No, this is a little different. But, gee, I don't want to tell you too much about it. You should see it.
Give us a hint.
Okay. A Very Special Favor stars Rock Hudson, Leslie Caron, and Charles Boyer, and Rock and Leslie are in love.
You said that.
I know, but you said to give you a hint.
He said that.
Oh, well, A Very Special Favor is about a very special favor.
You call that a hint?
Well, sure, A Very Special Favor is about a very special favor.
Is that all you're going to say?
He asked me for the hint.
I want to hear more about Rock Hudson and Leslie Caron.
Well, A Very Special Favor stars Rock Hudson, Leslie Caron, Charles Boyer, and he asks him to meet her, and he does, and then he does him a good turn, and she loves him, and he loves her. It's called A Very Special Favor.
Now, that's what I call a hint.
I'll be back with some commentary and more of December 31st, 1964, right after this.
Deal ever on that new Plymouth Barracuda.
Hey, man, the name of the Plymouth Fastback is the Barracuda.
I can't pronounce Barracuda.
Yeah, well, look, man, try this. Say back.
Back.
Raw.
Ra.
Coo.
Coo.
Da.
Da.
Now put it all together.
Baba, ra, ra, cuckoo, da, da.
Your Plymouth.
And for today's commentary, it is me. And I'd just like to share a word about something I was reading on Facebook this week about how people are just intolerant of other people's viewpoints. And I was remarking to a friend saying, you know, when we were in school, I grew up in a mixed community, Stamford, Connecticut, but there was the school I went to really was predominantly Jewish kids. And the teachers did a very good job every year explaining that we all came from different backgrounds and we all believed different things, but the thing that we really needed to do was we really needed to understand and appreciate the cultures of others. And I learned a lot through that, which has served me well throughout my life. And I don't know what happened to that along the way. It's all of a sudden, when someone has an opinion, it becomes violently attacked. And I just don't get it. I mean, there are so few things in this life that you could do for fun where everything starts to become a crusade against something. That's really where we have to kind of check our values and find out what's happening. And it's just really a tough thing for me to really try to get my head around, because really I can't. I honestly, truthfully can't. I mean, I am me. I am unapologetically me. For those who like me, they have to like me as me. I am not going to be anyone else. I am not an actor. I will leave that to my friend Michael Dante to act in character. I am not a phony. I am me. And why can't we just be ourselves and appreciate ourselves for who we are? I don't know what happened. I probably could give you a large cultural dissertation as to where I think the train started to fall off the tracks in the progression, but I don't know what that means. I mean, I really would like to see us going into this new year be more tolerant of people's viewpoints and have our viewpoints be able to be aired without fear or criticism or rancor or personal accusation or all this other junk that I see. If you're doing that on Facebook, or if you're doing that anywhere, if you're involved in that, from me, you get the boo of the week, as Warner Wolf would say. And you deserve it, too. Anyway, in the words of Howard Cosell, I'll be back in 60 seconds.
Welcome to the world of Trans World Airlines.
Next time you go to California, go to a good movie, too, on TWA. Color movies by In-Flight Motion Pictures are shown brighter and clearer than ever on our new wide screens. There are 8 more channels of music, too. TWA Starstream Theater, the last word in entertainment at the top.
Welcome to the world of Trans World Airlines. Well,
For the movies and sports of December 31st, 1964, on TV, you have your choice of a number of different shows. On NBC is Hazel. On CBS is Password. On ABC is The Defenders with E.G. Marshall. Earlier on, you can see the lovely Donna Reed. Guy Lombardo, former Stamford, Connecticut resident. One of my homeboys, well, not really. Guy moved there. I can show you where his house is. He's playing tonight at the Roosevelt Grill, ringing in New Year's. We all thought that New Year's would leave when Guy passed on, but it's still here, just not quite the same. The stock market rose on the day of December 31st, 1964. The Santa Claus rally, we don't seem to be seeing that in 2018. Some of the movies: My Fair Lady with Audrey Hepburn and Rex Harrison, Father Goose with Leslie Caron and Cary Grant, Sex and the Single Girl with Natalie Wood, and the Braves are leaving Milwaukee at the end of the season in sports. The city of Milwaukee has asked if major league teams want to play games in County Stadium to keep the interest alive. None of the major league teams, including the Mets, took Milwaukee up on it. In sports, Jim Nance and Floyd Little are getting ready to play in the Sugar Bowl for Syracuse. Floyd Little, the pride of New Haven, Connecticut. Joe Namath is coming to the New York Jets. He just signed for $400,000. In the words of Dick Young of the Daily News, Joe cannot find a bed after midnight except under certain limited circumstances. And Tim McCarver marries Catherine McDonald. We'll be back with more stuff right after this.
you get a positive charge.
Here on Comfortably Zoned Boss Radio, we will be back with our world-famous baseball birthdays right after this. No matter what happens, no matter how long the government is shut down, no matter what happens at the United States border, no matter what happens with national security, no matter what happens in the Congress of the United States in 2019, no matter what happens anywhere, there will be riots if I do not commemorate the baseball birthdays. So, I don't want riots. I'm going to do that. Born on December 31st, Jarrett Wright, son of Clyde Wright, 10 years in the bigs and 4 teams, is 43 on December 31st. Esteban Loaiza, a Mexican pitcher with 14 years of service and a 21-game winner in 2003, turns 47 on New Year's Eve. And get this, Manny Muniz, 5 games, count them, 5, for the 1971 Phillies, and an ERA of 6.97, blows out 71 candles on December 31st. We wish Jarrett, Esteban, and Manny, and anybody else with a birthday of December 31st, the happiest birthday they could possibly have. And again, Manny may not be having a great birthday, depending. We'll be right back right after this.
You get a real cold welcome with sparkling cold Pepsi Cola. The one with a taste. Big, bold, beautiful taste that gives your thirst a dousing. Gives you an inviting lift every time. Come on, treat your thirst to a Pepsi. A whole generation does.
Come alive. You're in the Pepsi generation. You're in the Pepsi generation. Merry Christmas from Boss Radio.
Special thanks to, first of all the people that made December 31st, 1964 possible. Sal Bonanno, Lyndon Johnson. You don't want to thank Lyndon Johnson. The Lombardozzi boys, you don't want to thank them either. Herbert Hoover, 50-50. But we can certainly thank Joe Namath and Floyd Little. I'd more seriously like to thank everybody on this network for welcoming me this year, making me a part of the team. I really appreciate it to the utmost degree. Always consider Comfortably Zoned Radio Network and Comfortably Zoned Radio Boss Network, if it's my show, actually Boss Radio Show more properly. And consider the donation of children's books to Head Start. Have a great New Year, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye! Hey, Iskaday. Thanks, Dan Ingram.
The proceeding was a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production. Thank you for listening.